Peace and blessings, family. Peace and blessings. Y'all come on in, come on in. Let's get tonight's journey started. Come on in, come on in. So today is day 5 of the Pressure Purge Challenge. And we still have another section inside of our ebook that we need to cover. And we're going to take this time in this class to break down this section, understand more about the process that we're going through, connect the dots between the things that we're experiencing, and most importantly, continue to move towards the root cause of our blood pressure problems. So come on in, come on in. We're going to get this class started in just a moment. And while we're waiting for a few more people to come in, I want to go ahead and give you guys an update as well. For those of us that ordered the high blood pressure breakdown book, make sure you're double checking your emails for all of the information that you need to make sure that you get your book. For those of us that ordered already, you should already have some other information, either something leading you to the post office, or you should be waiting for your tracking number to come somewhere in that process. For all the books that was ordered the past couple of days have been shipped out. They should be landed on your doorstep any moment now. So just double check your emails for any further information. Don't forget to check your spam mail as well. That way you can continue to track your book and have an understanding exactly where it's at. And other than that, let's dive into the material, because this is what's most important right here. Getting into this material, understanding where we're at with this Pressure Purge Challenge, and continuing to move forward. So what I'm going to do now, I'm basically pulling up the Pressure Purge ebook. For those of us that have another device available, whether it's a computer or a tablet or something, feel free to pull up your Pressure Purge ebook. That way we can just continue to move through these areas. I think we got the last chapter, chapter 7, that we're going to break down, which is basically about understanding the consumption of animal products and the role that it plays in your blood pressure and your overall health. We're going to break these down, and then we're going to go ahead and pretty much answer some questions regarding the Pressure Purge Challenge itself. So before I even start, how's everybody feeling today? That's one thing I want to know, because this is again, this is 5 days in with the Pressure Purge Challenge. And I've been seeing a lot of pictures being posted in the group with some great blood pressure numbers, some great meals that everyone's been preparing without the salt, the oils, and the sugars and things like that. And it looks like everyone is doing pretty good, and they're moving forward and gaining some really good progress with this challenge. So just want to make sure I double check with you guys, see how everybody's feeling. Feel free to comment in the chat down low how you're feeling throughout this challenge, and some of the challenges that you faced as you're continuing to go through this process. So yeah, feel free to comment down below. And then if you have any questions as well, go ahead and drop them in the chat. And once I get to that part of the video, I'll go ahead and answer those questions for you guys, and then we can keep moving forward from there. So I'm going to go ahead and go to chapter 7 in the Pressure Purge ebook. And in chapter 7, basically, I'm going to go ahead and read through, and we're going to start connecting those dots between, understanding those things that are contributing to the blood pressure issues that we're experiencing. So here we go. Chapter 7, Understanding Animal-Based Products, the impact of animal-based products on our blood pressure. In this chapter, we will explore the significance of eliminating or reducing the consumption of animal-based products in the context of managing blood pressure. We will dive into the effects of saturated fats and cholesterol on blood pressure and cholesterol levels, as well as their role in promoting the development of arterial plaque. Additionally, we will examine how individuals following a plant-based diet tend to have lower blood pressure compared to meat eaters. Lastly, we will unravel the connection between the consumption of red meat and processed meats with higher blood pressure. So again, this whole challenge has been all about connecting the dots between the things that are contributing to the blood pressure issue, while also providing you with the understanding of what this connection looks like, what you can do to start adjusting accordingly towards the issue, and moving forward and progressing through your blood pressure challenges. So we're going to keep moving forward here. I'll close my tablet. And here we go. The effects of saturated fats on blood pressure and cholesterol. And one thing about it, consuming animal-based products, especially these fatty cuts of meat and things like that, so and chicken and things, it's a lot of different components that can contribute to this issue. So we're going to start with the saturated fats aspect first. So the effects of saturated fats on blood pressure and cholesterol. Saturated fats, predominantly found in animal-based products, have been linked to increased blood pressure and elevated cholesterol levels. These fats can disrupt the normal functioning of blood vessels, leading to constriction and higher resistance within the arteries. As a result, blood pressure tends to rise. Furthermore, saturated fats can raise LDL cholesterol levels, commonly known as the bad cholesterol, which contributes to arterial plaque formation. So understanding that when you're dealing with blood pressure issues, and you're consistently consuming things such as these different animal-based products that have high levels of saturated fats, this is fueling the blood pressure issues that you're dealing with. And that's why during the 7-day pressure purge challenge, part of the challenge was eliminating or greatly reducing your consumption of animal-based products so you can see how your body responds to exactly what you're doing. And what I've noticed throughout the challenge is a lot of people have been doing very, very well going through this process. And I definitely want to commend you all for stepping up to the plate and challenging yourself to do so. But one thing that we just have to understand is these different connections and the different pathways that's contributing to the blood pressure issues. And when you do something like eliminating or greatly reducing your animal-based products during this time frame, it's going to allow for your different avenues of elimination to open up for your body to properly eliminate and respond the way that you need it to help address these issues that you're dealing with. The next one, cholesterol's impact on blood pressure. High levels of cholesterol, particularly the LDL cholesterol, can have detrimental effects on blood pressure regulation. Excessive cholesterol can accumulate in the arterial walls, leading to the formation of plaque. This process, known as atherosclerosis, narrows the arteries and restricts blood flow. As blood pressure rises to compensate for the decreased vessel diameter, hypertension can ensure. So we have to understand the connection that's going on in our body when this happens. So a couple days ago, we spoke about oil, and we spoke about oil. We spoke about salt, oils, and sugars. And when we understand the role that salt, oils, and sugar plays in our blood pressure issues, and then we understand also how the animal-based products contribute to this issue more furtherly, then we can see how this condition continues to manifest within us based off of our dietary concerns. When we talked about the sugar, we understood that the sugar introduces free radicals to the body. When the free radicals are overwhelming, they cause oxidative stress. When the free radicals are overwhelming, they cause oxidative stress, and this oxidative stress contributes to the breaking down and destruction of the endothelial cells. And the endothelial cells are basically the innermost lining of your blood vessels and your arteries throughout your body, and they're like the guardian of your cardiovascular system. So consuming sugar causes oxidative stress. Oxidative stress breaks down the blood vessels, and ultimately the endothelial cells cannot do their job in order to dilate the blood vessels, protect the arteries, and allow for a smoother blood flow. This is one pathway that you have to get control of. That's why we eliminated the sugars. So next, when it came down to the oils, understanding the oils and what they did as far as the postprandial effects of the oil causes the blood vessels to constrict. When the blood vessels constrict, the diameter or the artery basically gets a lot narrower, and now the heart has to pump harder in order to get the blood through the blood vessels, and this increases the pressure within the walls. So understanding how the oil contributes to it is also another factor that plays a role in the blood pressure. And now when we look at when we look at the sodium, now we understand how the sodium increases your blood volume. And when there's more blood volume, the heart basically has to pump harder as well to try to get the extra blood through the cardiovascular system, which adds more stress and strain on the heart, more stress and strain on the blood vessels, and contributes to the rise of the blood pressure. And through the 7-day pressure purge challenge, our goal was to eliminate these items for 7 days and watch how our body continues to respond to this process. And now, as we're going through day 5, we're connecting the dots between the animal-based products. And now it's very important for us to understand this pathway, starting with the saturated fats that can contribute to this issue. Now, where I'm going to go back to is back to the oils, because this is one of the most important things that, a lot of people have yet to grasp and get a hold of. And when we start with the oils, the constriction of the arteries, it causes our endothelial cells to break down and get damaged. Now, these endothelial cells, they have 3 jobs. Their first job is to produce nitric oxide to dilate the blood vessels and make the blood vessels wide enough so the blood can flow through smoothly. The second job, they're supposed to stay close together and allow for the blood to flow through smoothly in the arteries. When they're not close together and they start to separate, mainly because of the constriction due to the consumption of olive oil and all these other oils, they start to rub together and get damaged and break down. So their second job of staying together, being nice and tight, and making sure the inner blood vessel is smooth, the consumption of oil breaks this process down, and now these cells start, instead of being tight, they start getting out of place and they start producing nitric oxide. They start to have gaps in between, and this is where the saturated fat and the cholesterol comes into play at, because now when they're all spaced out and not functioning properly and the blood vessels are all becoming stiff and hardened, what's happening now, your consumption of animal-based products, the saturated fats and the cholesterol that's coming in, they find themselves getting lodged in between those gaps where the cells should have been nice and tight. So instead of being nice and tight and protecting anything from getting into the arteries or into the body itself, now there's gaps here. In those gaps, that consumption of animal-based products contributes to the cholesterol building up inside those little pockets. Then over time, now your arteries become filled up with plaque. And now this starts to impact your blood flow, which contributes to the rise in blood pressure. So understanding that all these things play a role in the blood pressure issues that you're experiencing. All of these things play a role in the blood pressure issues that we're experiencing. So it's very important that you turn over every stone to understand exactly what's happening, what's potentially contributing to your problem, and make sure that you understand how to control this aspect. Because one thing about correcting these blood pressure issues, you must remove everything that's potentially fueling the problem. And for most people, the overconsumption of animal-based product is a big thing. So understanding how to pull these things out of the diet, allow for the body to make the necessary adjustments, and then move forward with the understanding of what's going on and correct the issue, correct the imbalance that's happening there. And that's going to be how you get to the root cause of your blood pressure issue. So we're going to keep moving forward to get a better understanding, and we're going to go to the role of saturated fats and cholesterol in arterial plaque development. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. That way I could go ahead and catch up with them when I get there. So consuming saturated fats and cholesterol contributes to the development of arterial plaque, which is a significant factor in high blood pressure. The accumulation of plaque narrows and stiffens the arteries, impeding blood flow and increasing blood pressure levels. This further underscores the importance of reducing animal-based product consumption to mitigate plaque formation and maintain optimal blood pressure. Research indicates that individuals adhering to a plant-based diet tends to have lower blood pressure compared to those who consume meat. Plant-based diets are typically richer in fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients, which have beneficial effects on blood pressure regulation. So I'm going to stop right there and go into this antioxidant and phytonutrient aspect along with the fiber, because when we spoke about these sugar previously, we talked about the free radicals and the oxidative stress. When you consume a plant-based diet or consume more whole foods in general, this is going to provide your body with the phytonutrients and the antioxidants to help fight off those free radicals that's contributing to the oxidative stress that's damaging the blood vessels. Once you bring once you increase your antioxidant levels, this is going to offset the free radicals that are causing the damage and the oxidative stress. The antioxidants are going to consume the free radicals, bring those levels down, and that's going to bring down the levels of your oxidative stress. And now your body is going to be able to rejuvenate itself to correct those issues that are happening within the cells, and allow for those cells, the endothelial cells, to start dilating properly by producing the nitric oxide. And now the blood flow is going to get better, and in turn, it's going to reduce your blood pressure. So there's a domino effect of things that are happening during this process. And the better you understand like exactly what's going on, the more mindful you will be about certain things that you're consuming in reference to managing your blood pressure. And when it comes down to those phytonutrients, those phytos is your word for plant. Those are plant nutrients. You know, those are found in basically every plant-based product, every whole food that you're consuming. I don't want to say plant-based product because there's a lot of stuff out there, but every whole food that you're consuming is going to have the antioxidants, it's going to have the fiber, it's going to have the phytonutrients, and all of these are going to be very beneficial for your blood pressure when it comes down to just getting control and reducing your need for pharmaceutical medications. So we're going to keep moving, and we're going to go to linking red meat and processed meats to high blood pressure. There's a clear association between the consumption of red meat and processed meat with higher blood pressure. These types of meats are often high in saturated fats, cholesterol, and sodium. Excessive intake of these components can contribute to hypertension, jeopardizing blood pressure control. By minimizing or eliminating red meat and processed meats, individuals can take proactive steps towards managing their blood pressure effectively. Eliminating or reducing the consumption of animal-based products holds great importance when working to gain control over your blood pressure. Saturated fats and cholesterol found in these products have adverse effects on blood pressure regulation and cholesterol levels, promoting the development of arterial plaque. In contrast, following a plant-based diet is associated with lower blood pressure levels. Furthermore, the link between red meat and processed meats and higher blood pressure highlights the need to make mindful dietary choices. By embracing a diet focused on plant foods, individuals can proactively manage their blood pressure and improve overall cardiovascular health. Now, this section, I wrote this, and when I was writing it, it took me back to a story from a friend of mine, and he's a truck driver also. And what happened was he was a guy that always stopped, and he went to Subway quite often. And you know, you think about Subway, you know, I don't know if most of us are old enough to remember this, but they had the guy Jared back in the day. And Jared got a whole bunch of legal stuff going on afterwards. But yeah, they had Jared back in the day, and Jared lost 100 pounds eating Subway, and they had this whole charade and all this act going on that he was doing. So a lot of people were considering Subway to be a healthier choice. They would think of it, oh, it's just a sub, it got some lunch meat on it and the bread and stuff like that. And they thought of it as a healthier option. But when you understand these different chains and these different restaurants and the foods that they're consuming, I mean, the foods that they're selling, you get to see the bigger pictures. Subway is no better than any other restaurant, fast food restaurant out there. And actually, it's one of the worst. I want to say 2020 or 2021, Subway's bread was officially classified as cake because of the amount of sugar that it had inside of it. It's no longer considered bread, mainly because the levels of sugar far exceeded the amount of sugar that's in any standard bread. So they classified it as cake, and they said this is the equivalent, eating Subway's bread is the equivalent of eating a slice of cake. And when you stack that on top of all of the processed meats that they're consuming, those cold cut meats that they have, those are pure processed foods that are filled with salt, oils, and sugars, and highly damaging to the body in many different ways. And then on top of that, all the sauces and the dressings and everything else that goes with it, all of this is highly damaging to the body is fueling blood pressure issues, and there's no benefits that is coming from this food whatsoever. And understanding how processed foods and processed meats and the saturated fats and the role that they play in these conditions is very, very important. So we must understand that we cannot be misled when it comes down to, understanding what we're consuming, because even if you don't know what you're eating and you think that it may be good for you, at the end of the day, your body has to pay for the mistakes that you made, knowingly or not knowing. So we have to understand that we must be mindful of whatever it is that we're consuming and just be aware, because these companies that out there, your health is the last thing on their board of. They don't care about your health. That's the last thing on their mind. It's all about making money and making profit. And they will go through any loophole to say what they need to say to make you believe that this is what you want it to be. And at the end of the day, it's totally against what you're trying to do. My main thing for individuals that are trying to get over these blood pressure issues, you should be focusing on preparing your own foods yourself, especially during this process while you're still on medication and going through these changes. Focus on preparing your food yourself. It may be a bit of an inconvenience. You might struggle at times, but your success is going to largely come by you being able to prepare your own food. Reason being, no one's going to be focused on your health like you are. The excess amount of sodium, the oils, the sugars, it can be very, very hard to find people, places, restaurants that's going to prepare foods to your liking in this type of way. So, if you have to take that extra time out of your day to do some meal prep and prepping these foods up for yourself, that's going to be what you need to do to help you get to the root cause of your problem. So finding a way to prep your own food is going to be very, very important. And once you build a schedule and get some consistency behind it and understand the foods that you like to consume, this is going to help accelerate you to your end goal. And that way, as you work into reducing your reliance or eliminating the blood pressure medications, you're going to be able to be down the fastest path to do so. But finding yourself in a position where you're dining out still and, just having a little bit of this or a little bit of that, thinking that a little bit won't hurt, trust me, a little bit causes a lot of problem, because a little bit here and a little bit there, it equals up to a lot of bit. It's as simple as that. And it's going to contribute to the issues that you're experiencing. So the better you're able to eliminate these outside sources of foods and prepare your own meals during this process, the easier it's going to be for you to maintain control and eliminate those foods that are contributing to the problem. And that's why this 7-day pressure purge challenge was so important, because we got our ebooks, we got an understanding of what we need to eliminate. And now it's all about just focusing and locking in on this guide. And for some of us, maybe it was easy getting rid of the sugar, and maybe it was easy getting rid of the oils and the salts. But then, we might struggle a bit with the animal-based products. So understanding where your weak points are and, dialing in and a little bit harder or structuring a better plan to get through that is going to be very, very important. Because one thing that I've noticed throughout all these different challenges and the different clients that I had, you find more success doing everything as a collective. And, just saying, okay, I could get rid of the meat and I could get rid of the sugar, but I'm going to just keep the oil because, I like olive oil or what have you. You're going to find yourself kind of still trying to figure things out. Not everybody, but sometimes you're going to find yourself still spinning around and not getting the results that you're looking for. So understand, just like, hey, an extended period of time, just let it go for a second and see what happens. Because again, the one thing that you want to do is allow your body to tell you what's going on. And through this process, I can guarantee you go without these foods, your body's going to say some amazing things. For most people, I can say that it showed up in the form of them just simply losing anywhere between 7 and 15 pounds in a couple days. And that's some big body language talking to you. Your body, you losing 7 pounds or 15 pounds during a 7-day challenge or however long, those are big strides, because you lost this weight and you wasn't even focusing on exercising and doing all these other things out there. You just simply made some dietary changes and boom, your body dropped 12 pounds or what have you. That's the body language that I'm talking about. Listening to what your body's saying to you. And as you continue to make steps in the right direction like that, you just continue to do the things that you need to do. Your body will continue to get in alignment, and your blood pressure is going to start to be regulated through its natural pathways without the need for pharmaceutical medication. Because one thing about it, simply losing 10 pounds takes a ton of pressure off of your cardiovascular system. Because, all right, think of it this way. When let's say you're dealing with an extra, you're overweight, you're 10, 15 pounds overweight. When you're overweight, your blood vessels, they tend to stretch out to hold the excess weight that you're holding on to. The blood vessels stretch out, and when they stretch out, the diameter of the arteries tends to get a lot more narrower because they're being stretched by the weight that you're holding. And when they get stretched out and the diameter gets a lot narrower, what happens is the heart has to still pump harder because the space where the blood is flowing is really, really tight and small because of the weight that you're holding. But when you lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds, those blood vessels, instead of being stretched out like that, they start to loosen up, and that diameter gets a lot wider, and now the blood can flow through a lot smoother, and there's less pressure on the heart. Less pressure on the heart don't have to thump so hard, and now it slows down and becomes more regulated, and now you start seeing a decrease in the blood pressure. So all of these different things that's happening within you is allowing for your body to make the necessary adjustments. It's just all about you playing the part, sticking with the process, and seeing your way through. A lot of us have seen some really good results in 7 days, 14 days, and things like that. And it's been a game changer. I had one person, I think Miss Betsy, I believe she posted that, she dropped 12 pounds in like the last 8 days. And it's been a game changer for her and everything that she's been doing. She's been a nutritionist and did all type of nutrition coaching and training. And she never did anything like this that gave her the sustainable results that she's been able to see. So understanding that, this is the process. And when you step up to the plate and be a part of this journey and you invest in yourself and buckle down to understand what needs to take place, you're going to see results. It's as simple as that. You're going to see results. Your body's going to change. And again, this is not about taking anything. You don't have to consume this or take that. It's all about removing the problematic foods and allowing for your body to adjust in the right direction. Nothing else. No tricks, no gimmicks. I ain't got nothing to sell you. Like, it's no tricks, no gimmicks, no potions, no herbs, no nothing. It's simple removal and allowing for your body to do what it does naturally. Every cell in your body wants to heal. It wants to live a health promoting lifestyle. It wants to be the best version of itself day in and day out. But when we consume toxic foods that goes against our biological nature, this disrupts the harmony within us. And what happens is for this 20, 30, however many years that we've been living, our body has been disrupted. And now the blood pressure issues just so happen to start to manifest within us. Now, when you start to remove those toxic foods, your body just goes back into homeostasis and start to do what exactly it needs to do naturally. And you see those blood pressure issues start to go away. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. And now I'm going to go through the last section, which is the conclusion, and basically how we all should be putting it all together moving forward throughout this process. Here we go. Unlocking the secrets to better blood pressure. Embrace the journey of discovery. On your quest to unravel the mysteries behind your blood pressure issues, there's one powerful step you can take: eliminating certain foods from your diet indefinitely. This bold move will provide valuable insights into the triggers that may be affecting your blood pressure. By removing these potential culprits, you'll also eliminate factors linked to endothelial dysfunction, which can contribute to the blood pressure problems. And again, those endothelial cells, or rather the endothelium system, is the protector of your cardiovascular system. It's there to control everything your cardiovascular system does. But when you're dealing with blood pressure issues, these endothelial cells are being damaged. They're under attack. And it's up to you as the individual to stop consuming the foods that's damaging these cells and allow for them to rejuvenate themselves to regain better control of your blood pressure. It's a sacrifice worth making, as it will give you a clearer understanding of how specific foods impact your blood pressure levels. Making these changes for yourself and committing to them will be one of the best decisions you make for your overall health. How many people can attest to that? By them simply going through this process, they've seen some of the best results that they've ever seen. If you've seen some of the best results you've ever seen, go ahead and put a 1 inside of the chat. That way I can know what everybody's experiencing through this process. Making these changes for yourself and committing to them would be one of the best decisions you make for your overall health. While you may choose to reintroduce some of these items later, you'll do so armed with the knowledge of their effects on your blood pressure. And the reason I put this passage in there, I'm going to read that one more time for you guys. While you may choose to reintroduce some of these items later, you'll do so armed with the knowledge of their effects on your blood pressure. Now, I put this in there because this process, what I've noticed is that you don't necessarily have to go the rest of your life not consuming salt or not consuming oils or not consuming, animal-based products and things like that. You don't necessarily have to do that to maintain these types of results. But when you have a better understanding, you make better decisions. Me personally, I don't do salt, oils, sugars, or animal-based products anymore. Reason being, I don't want to be 248 pounds with stage 2 hypertension and being pre-diabetic anymore. So me having a lifestyle change that I had, I decided never to go back to where I came from, and I stuck with this path, consuming my fresh fruits and vegetables, my nuts, my seeds, my grains, and all those things that helped me get to where I was today. I never went back. And that's one thing that I've noticed through all of my different clients that I've coached personally, and they felt so much better that it was like, man, ain't no way in heck I'm going back to doing what I was doing that made me feel bad. And they stuck with this process mainly because of the results that they were able to see. Now, if you do this, let's say your daughter's getting married and she has this nice big wedding and wedding cake and all this good food that's there. And, you might say, man, you know what? I might have a glass of wine and I'm going to have me a slice of cake. And you can do so confidently knowing that your diet is intact, your lifestyle is intact, and you're living a health promoting lifestyle. You can do that knowing that you don't have to be faced with the consequences of doing so, because the other 95% of your lifestyle is what actually matters. So understanding that if you're living a health promoting lifestyle 95% of the time, that 5% of that thing that you did that goes against your nature, it's not going to affect you in a negative way, especially if you've already done the work to regain control of your blood pressure, get your weight under control, bring your cholesterol levels down, you're getting more exercise, you're improving your sleep, and you're doing all those things in your lifestyle that brings it all together. That little piece of cake or that cup of alcohol that you're having, it's not going to affect you the same way as if you were someone that didn't have control of your blood pressure. Your weight was still up and down all over the place. Your sleeping habits was off. Your cholesterol levels are up. It's going to affect you totally different. So the better you are at getting control of your lifestyle and improving your health, the more room you have to enjoy yourself and do some of those things like that. And me personally, as you're going through this process, you just feel so much better, and you got so far away from those things that it won't even matter to have, won't even care about having a drink or having a slice of cake. You just feel so much better without it. You put your body in a position to not even crave it and want it. So moving forward, it's like, it doesn't matter. You can be around these things. Like even for myself, I used to be a heavy drinker, especially when I was working in a restaurant. We had a full bar. I had access to everything there. We drank after work. We drank before work. We drank during work. So I always had alcohol around me. And what happened was, as I continued to just live my life, alcohol was always around me. Once I started making lifestyle changes and I removed the alcohol from the equation, now I was able to see the results of how my body felt physically, mentally without the alcohol. And now when I'm in certain environments where there is alcohol, I don't even think about it because I feel so much better without it. I do so much better without it. I've accomplished so much without it. So I don't even care to have just one drink or anything there because I don't want to jeopardize what I've been able to accomplish. And plus, I feel so much better without it. And that goes for everything: sugar, salt, oils, processed foods, all that stuff. Once you start seeing these types of results through your lifestyle changes, there's no way you're going to go back. Like, and I get it. Some people slip and fall sometimes, but at least you will be armed with the knowledge of how to get yourself back together to get control of these issues that you're faced with. And that's the most important part, because once you have that foundation in your mind of how to, you know, how to go through this process of correcting the issues that you're dealing with, no one can take that from you. It's a mindset, just shifting your mindset back in go mode and going through the process. This is going to help you achieve the same results all over again. There's nothing else special that you need to do. Get back in line, do it all over again. If you come up short, start over, do it again. You're going to get the same results. Nothing changes when you remove the problematic foods. You don't have to go buy this or come and find me for anything. You don't have to do that. Just go through the process. If you purchase the Pressure Purge book, 10 years from now, go in your email, pull it up, and go through the process all over again. If you purchase the high blood pressure breakdown, whenever you can, pass it to somebody else and let them go through the process again. People are going to ask you, hey, you lost 15 pounds? How you did that? Well, I purchased the high blood pressure breakdown, and I started going through the different tactics and strategies in there to correct my issues. It's simple things. It's just a knowledge-based approach. There's nothing else to there. But it's nothing else to it besides applying yourself and going through the process to see yourself through. That's what it's all about. The tactics and strategies for improving your health, improving your lifestyle, and correcting the blood pressure issues. Here we go. These dietary changes do not have to be permanent, but they deserve serious consideration. Aim for an oil-free, refined sugar-free, and low-sodium diet, not just for your blood pressure, but for your overall well-being. Here we go, one more time. Moving forward, you should be aiming for an oil-free, refined sugar-free, and a low-sodium diet. That should be the furthest you get away from this process. It's easy to stay away from oil. It's easy to stay away from the refined sugar. Sodium can be very, very tough, especially if you're dining out. But if you aim for a low sodium diet, you will fall in the right areas to allow for your body to continue to manage and control these issues, these cardiovascular issues that you're experiencing. So low sodium at best is going to be a safe spot for you. Preferably, I would say no sodium at all. But for most individuals, you know, you may hang out around the low sodium area, especially if you're sensitive to, if you have blood, especially if you have blood pressure issues. You don't want to go anywhere higher than a low sodium diet. So oil-free, refined sugar-free, and low sodium diet, that should be as far as you go astray from these different type of strategies. As I embark on my own journey to rejuvenation, the remarkable improvements in my overall health and well-being fueled by my determination to sustain these positive changes and embrace a new, vibrant lifestyle. So I dare to take the empowering steps towards health, embrace a diet that nourishes your body, prioritize your well-being, and set you on a path to becoming the best version of yourself. The rewards will be beyond measure. So understanding, if you stick with this process and you stay as close to this outline that's been provided for you, not only will your blood pressure get better and stay consistent, but your overall health will continue to improve. And that's what it's all about. These are not just blood pressure changes. It's not just lifestyle changes to help your blood pressure. These are lifestyle changes to improve your overall lifestyle. And many people that put those ones inside of the chat that was saying that they feel so much better, it's only going to get better when you keep doing the same thing. That scale is going to keep ticking down. I think Miss Walters, I want to talk about her journey for a little bit. Miss Walters, everyone's seen Miss Walter post a bit inside of the group. Miss Walter, she's posted with her blood pressure. I remember, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's been about 15 or 16 days. I might be wrong. Miss Walters, if you're in the group, if you're in the video right now, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it's been about 15, 16 days. And what I've noticed, every time she posts in the group, her blood pressure does this, and the scale does this. The blood pressure goes this, and the scale goes here. The blood pressure goes here, and the scale goes here. Every time she does it, every time she posts, it just drops, and it gets better, better, better. She started out at, I think, like 293, and she's inside the 270s range right now. And it's only been like 2 weeks. consistently getting better. So understanding that this is not going to change. Your body is going to continue to get better as long as you're on this path. And, for some people, it's going to just be incremental gains just like that. And I can guarantee you there's not going to be any type of plateau until you get to where you need to be, especially if you're following these steps. And now, as we continue with the rest of these challenges that we're going to do, you're going to be implementing other strategies and other tactics that's going to continue to mesh together and continue to improve the other aspects of your lifestyle. We did the 7-day fruit and salad challenge, which was solely focusing on improving our nutritional storages by consuming the foods that was high in the nutrients that control blood pressure. And the 7-day fruit and salad challenge, it opened up our mindset to understanding potassium, magnesium, sodium, calcium, zinc, vitamin D, all the other antioxidants and all those things and how they work. 7-day fruit and salad challenge. Once we completed that challenge, we hung on to those tactics and strategies and we implemented them inside of the 7-day pressure purge challenge. Pressure purge challenge was all about pulling out of the bad foods, taking them out of the diet, and allowing for those new foods to come in, be consistent, and build the body up and continue to control the blood pressure. And next up, our next challenge that's starting in about another week and some change, we're going to continue to put things together. So you're moving through every area of your lifestyle and you're going to continue to see the results. The results are going to compound and build up, and the blood pressure is going to continue to drop and continue to go down. And what's going to happen is you're going to build your body up nice and strong to where now you no longer have that reliance on the pharmaceutical medications to keep your blood pressure down. And now you have the opportunity, like Miss Doris did. Miss Doris went to the doctor and she went there. I forgot what her blood pressure reading was. She went to the doctor like 2 days ago or so. They saw her blood pressure. I think what ended up happening, they ended up pulling her diuretics from her and said, okay, we're going to pull these medications from you and you no longer have to take the diuretics at all. So I think she has one more medication or so that she's working on. But now when you're able to show up with these consistent results and you build your body up to be able to manage his blood pressure on its own, that's ultimately how you get off the pharmaceutical medications. But it's all about following the tactics and strategies in order to effectively do so. You have to be willing to get into alignment and make the necessary sacrifices and go the route. Don't go the route and make up your own stuff and figure stuff out from other areas. I saw this and I saw that. Just walk the ride. It's nothing special. Just take the ride. Take that ride, understand your body, listen to what it's saying, and I can guarantee you that you're going to get some results through this process. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm going to scroll back just a little bit, and this is going to allow me to see whatever questions I might have missed, and then we'll go from there. So again, for those of us that did order the high blood pressure breakdown, check your emails. You should get some type of update either from my team that sent the emails out, or you should have a USPS update. You'll have one or the other. So double check your email, double check your spam mail, and you'll have some type of update about your high blood pressure breakdown book. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through some of these questions, and we'll go from there. Should we mainly consider total fat or saturated fat, Miss Marianne? Saturated fat is going to be the biggest thing. Total fat is not necessarily the problem, mainly because during this challenge, we're eliminating the excess animal-based products. So all the other fats that you will be getting will be the healthier fats that is actually providing your body with the things that it needs to continue to build itself. So for this particular challenge, it's more so, well, for this particular blood pressure issue, not just the challenge, it's all about those saturated fats. And that's where part of the conversation was yesterday during the live cooking class, where we talked about the saturated fats in coconut milk. And that way we go for the lighter version instead of the regular coconut milk to reduce the saturated fats, because even though it is a plant-based product, it still can contribute to these type of issues, and we want to eliminate as much of it as possible. So it's all about the saturated fat and not necessarily about the total fat, specifically because we're moving in a more plant-forward approach with our dietary adjustments. And speaking on cooking classes. I'm going to make sure I continue with those cooking classes as well. I used to do them previously, but I got sidetracked with a few other things I had going on. But a lot of people hit me in my inbox was like, hey, when the next class? So next class is next Wednesday, and I'll make sure I keep you guys up to date with how that's going to flow and stuff like that. And if you have any recommendations or things I think I should cook, feel free to drop them in the chat or inbox me and give me some fresh ideas moving forward. What else we got? I can't really see. Here we go. Let's see. Miss Marianne again. She said, I lost 5 pounds during the fruit and salad challenge and lost 4 pounds so far on this pressure purge challenge. I lost 30 pounds from participating in the healthy eating, active living community. Yeah, and Miss Marianne, hats off to you as well. Because Miss Marianne started with the healthy eating, active living community. I think it was back in January or February. And even during this process, she has been continuing to gain those results. Her weight has been going down. Her blood pressure is phenomenal. It's better than mine. Just to be honest, it's better than mine. And her blood pressure has just consistently been down, been level. And she mentioned that she's lost 30 pounds from participating in the healthy eating, active living community. And she's down 5 pounds from the fruit and salad challenge and 4 pounds just from the pressure purge challenge. These are all large strides. And you're talking about 7 months time. That's a 30 plus pound swing by just making changes in your dietary habits and your lifestyle. And this happens for everybody. For myself, in 8 months, I lost 80 plus pounds during this whole process. And one thing that I've noticed throughout this process, the more unhealthier you are when you start, the bigger the results that you will see. So if you're someone that's dealing with a lot of chronic issues and you're overweight and cholesterol's high, blood pressure high, you're pre-diabetic, you have diabetes as well, when you start making these changes, you're going to see some big leaps, especially in the beginning, because your body's not even used to, the health promoting things that you're doing. So when you start giving your cells the things that they need, they just kick into gear and start cleaning up and getting things out of there and making way for the rejuvenation effects to actually occur. So understand that, the worse your health is when you start these things, those are the individuals that start to see large leaps when they get started. So Miss Marianne, hats off to you as well, because you've been with the program for quite some time and you've been doing really, really great. You've been like a key figure when it comes down to everything that's health promoting, your lifestyle, you walking, I think you were saying in between your bus route, you're walking 20 to 30 minutes every day and things like that. Those are all health promoting activities. And that's the reason why your blood pressure is looking the way that it is. So, hats off to you during that whole process. I see a lot of ones in here too. So that shows that a lot of people have been getting some good results throughout this process. Here we go. Miss Doris Caldwell. I have had some struggle days as my body is trying to figure out what's going on here. And yeah, that's part of the process because it's going to be a little bit difficult for some individuals. You might experience some detox symptoms. You might feel your body nagging or like you might feel some cravings coming along, but understanding how to make the necessary adjustments to keep moving through this process and not throwing in a towel and giving in to those cravings that you might be going through or experiencing, things like that. Those are all big fundamentals because again, you're going to see some type of cravings. You're going to have, you're going to be tested in many different ways. But the more consistent you can be, the better you're going to be when it comes down to reaching your end goal. Miss Stephanie Greer, no refined sugar. That is a challenge. One of the best things I did, because I used to have a hell of a sugar addiction, dried fruit was one of my main things that helped me kick my sugar addiction. I used to be big on candy and other type of junk foods and snack foods. But what happened was, as I was moving through this process, I started making like trail mix, put them in a big old jar, shake them all up with a variety of nuts and seeds, put some raisins inside of it, and also have a small bag of dried fruits with me. And what would happen is whenever I got like a sugar craving, I would just simply eat the nuts and seeds and, And I would eat the dried fruit as well, and that would help with the sugar cravings that I had. And eventually, after a couple weeks or so, I watched it dumb down a whole lot. But the main thing throughout this process, when you're dealing with sugar cravings, if you give in, you're going to hit the reset button and those cravings are going to be sky high. So continue to work through this process, find those healthier alternatives, and it's going to help you move through those cravings. But sugar cravings can be very, very tough, and the dried fruit was definitely one part of it that helped me get going. Miss Stephanie Greer, again, what's the next challenge? The next, I'm glad you asked. The next challenge is the Fit for Life challenge. The Fit for Life challenge. This is the next challenge. It's not starting this Monday. It's starting next Monday. I guess 2 Mondays from now. I don't know the exact date. I put a date up on them, but it's not this Monday. It's the next Monday. Enrollment is going to open this Monday, but it's going to be the Fit for Life challenge. And the Fit for Life challenge is designed for individuals that are 40 and older, male and female, that are dealing with blood pressure issues along with other comorbidities. And what this means is that it's not designed for somebody that's healthy and rejuvenated and able to run up and do all these crazy things. It's specifically designed for individuals that have mobility issues or that's working to build themselves up to correct these blood pressure type issues by incorporating more movement into their lifestyle. So the Fit for Life challenge is going to open up this coming Monday, and we're going to be understanding the different pathways of how to create more movement for yourself, no matter the position of health you're in, no matter what your time schedule looks like, no matter all the other things that you have going on in your life. But it's going to help you understand how to create more movement to help improve your blood pressure. So the next challenge is the Fit for Life challenge. This weekend, you're going to get some more details about it. The enrollment is going to open up on Monday for it. But what I did, most importantly, there's not going to be an ebook for this challenge. It's going to be a video, an audio video course. So instead of having to go through 30, 50 pages, or however many pages reading to understand stuff, it's going to be an audio video course. That way you can simply digest everything, plug it in on your way to work into your car, or if you're going for a walk, put a headset in and listen to it while you're walking. Easy to digest, easy to move through with it. And the best thing is still going to be the same price, just like all the other challenges. $10 to sign up. We'll be doing the Fit for Life challenge. And again, the Fit for Life challenge is specifically designed for individuals 40 and up that are dealing with blood pressure issues, that are looking to get control of it. So no matter what your weight level is or your level of health, the Fit for Life challenge is going to allow you to understand how to create more movement for you. It's not about doing all these crazy exercises and worrying about different problems that you may have. You might have back pains, or you might have knee issues and joint issues. The Fit for Life challenge is going to allow you to understand how to move through these problems and how to manage these types of conditions while you're working to improve your health. And what's going to happen is, as you move through this process, you're going to feel these ailments that you're dealing with get better. And one thing that I like to focus on first, and this is why the Fit for Life challenge is our third challenge in, because now a lot of us that's been going through this process, you're down 5 pounds, you're down 10 pounds, you're down 15 pounds. It's going to be a lot easier to get more active now that you're already losing the excess weight that you're holding on to. Because one thing that a lot of people do wrong is they know they have weight issues and health issues, and boom, I got to go walking. I got to get back in the gym. And then now they're trying to work out and they're holding this excess weight, and their body is just not used to holding that weight. And now the knees start to hurt, the joints, and everything starts to ache more, and they're not able to keep up with that routine. But now that we're in the flow of losing weight and improving our health, and we have the motivation and we're seeing results, now entering in the Fit for Life challenge, it's going to allow you to understand how to properly incorporate these movement strategies, to understand where you're at right now in your health, and be able to create that movement that's going to allow you to continue to improve your overall health, improve your blood pressure, and then reach the end goal, which again is to reduce your reliance or eliminate completely the need for pharmaceutical medications. So I see somebody put August 7th in there. I think, is that the day? Yeah, August 7th is going to be when the Fit for Life Challenge kicks off. But the enrollment is going to open up this Monday, and you'll be able to get the audio course. That way you can plug in, listen to the breakdown of it. And again, once the week kicks off, we'll be in our group. We'll pull up everything that we need, and we'll be breaking it down to connect the dots to understanding what we need to do to continue to improve our lifestyle. Because again, this is just not a blood pressure class. This is a lifestyle community that we're in. And when you improve your lifestyle, you improve your overall health. When you improve your overall health, the blood pressure issues just walk away. As simple as that. So Fit for Life Challenge is going to be the next challenge. And, you know, that's going to be very, very important when it comes down to tying everything together. Miss Teresa Baxter, I've since started both challenges. I've lost 7 pounds. So excited. There you go, Miss Baxter. Keep moving in the right direction. So it's gonna keep moving in the right. It's gonna all come together. Miss Johnson, what's the best plant milk to consume? 9:31 p.m. A basic answer to that would be none of them. And the reason I say none of them is because if you're not making your own, then it's 9 times out of 10, it's a lot of additives in there that you probably want to stay away from. Plant milks tend to have a lot of oil in it, have a lot of salt or sodium in it as well. So you kind of want to be mindful of that. And the thing about it is, it's easy to make your own. It can get expensive sometimes, but it's easy to make your own. And at least you're in control of the process. If you like oat milk, simply getting a cup or two of oats, put it inside a high-powered blender, adding some water to it. I like to use distilled water for mine, and adding some dates to the mixture that for the sweetness. Put it in the high-powered blender, blend it up real good to where it breaks down. Get a nut milk bag and just strain it all out. And what's going to happen, it's going to isolate all that extra fiber that's in there. You're going to still have the sweetness from the dates all pulsed up inside there, and you could just strain it out into a small container, and it'll hold for 3 or 4 days, and that'll give you a nice quality oat milk or almond milk or whatever type of milk you decide to use through that process. And that way you don't have to worry about the oils or the salts that's added to it, along with the other things that they use to fortify it with and things like that. So, you know, I used to have oat milk back in the day, but as I continue to grow through this process, it's just a lot of stuff they put in it just because, like, it's like that much almonds inside of almond milk. The rest of it is just stuff they fortified it with to stretch it out, because almonds are expensive. And when they make almond milk, they put everything else in it to make it taste the way that it tastes, or to turn it into to stretch it out. And most of it is not ideal when it comes down to your overall health. So when it comes to oat milk, making your own, it's real easy, and then it only takes like 30 minutes. I take it back. It only takes like a couple minutes, and it's really simple. So that'll be my answer for that one. Can a homemade date paste be used as a sweetener? Miss Malone, yes, definitely. That's going to be something very beneficial. One thing about dried fruits, don't get carried away with it too much, because again, it's still like a concentrated form of sugar that you could be consuming. So when you use it, just be mindful, because you can get you could rely on dried fruits too much, and at the end of the day, it could cause you some dental issues and stuff like that. And you just want to avoid those type of problems. So use it mindfully, and you should be completely okay. There's nothing wrong with it, especially if you're making it yourself. And I think that might be all the questions. I don't think I missed any. If you got any other ones, feel free to drop them in. Miss Holman says she's a diabetic and she needs help. Getting in the challenge, joining in, because again, these are all lifestyle changes that are all connected to helping you get better when it comes to lifestyle diseases. High blood pressure is a lifestyle disease. High cholesterol, lifestyle. High diabetes is lifestyle. You improve your lifestyle, type 2 diabetes walks right out the door with it. But it's all about understanding the process and seeing it through, and being able to make the necessary adjustments so you can get better. So I don't see any other questions. So I guess I'll go ahead and wrap everything up. If you ordered your book already, remember to double check your emails so you can understand exactly where you're at, whether you got your tracking number already or if you're waiting for a tracking number. Everything is already out. It should be popping in your doorstep Monday, Tuesday easily. So understanding that everything's already sent when it comes down to the books. T-shirts already sent out as well. So most people should already have theirs. I didn't see any new ones come through recently. So all those T-shirts should already be gone. If it's not gone, it should be at your doorstep relatively soon. So with that being said, I will not see you guys tomorrow because I got tons of other things to do. But you will get further updates on Sunday. I'll be back in the group Sunday, and we'll be talking about the Fit for Life Challenge. Fit for Life Challenge, getting you a clear understanding. Enrollment will open on Monday, and that way we can start moving forward to continue to build on these lifestyle changes. One thing I do want to see more of, continue to post in the group throughout the weekend. That way we can understand what you're consuming throughout this process. You know, I see a lot of great dishes coming up. And one thing I do want to touch on, I like the fact that most people are not trying to create these great meals. They're keeping it simple with, wild rice here, maybe some broccoli or stir-fried veggies there, or, you know, a potato. They like keeping it real simple and a whole food hearty meal. That's one of the best approaches, because one thing about it, when you try to make these dietary adjustments, people try to think people think they have to create these great meals and create this to be, you know, a certain type of way. Just eat what you like and put it on the plate. You know, just make sure it's following the guidelines of what you're trying to do. So if you're having some wild rice or a sweet potato and some stir-fried veggies or some cabbage, and you just got it on the plate sitting side by side, that's one of the best approaches. It's simple, easy, and enjoyable, just like that. Your food doesn't have to be extravagant. That's like a commercial approach. Keep it simple. Eat enough food, make sure you're nourished, and make sure you're within the guidelines, and it's gonna be very simple for you. A lot of times when I don't feel like cooking, I just eat fresh fruits and keep it raw. Me, the children, everybody, we just eat raw foods throughout the day when we just don't feel like cooking anything. So keeping it simple is always gonna be best. So for those of us that kept it simple and post those simple pictures in there, just know that you're on one of the straightforward courses to simplifying your journey and understanding what you like and pairing your favorites together properly. So with that being said, see you guys Sunday. Fit for Life Challenge is opening up, and I'll have further details for you guys there. So peace and blessings. Take care, everybody.